Hello, and welcome to the 87th episode of Recluse Horror. This is a daily horror movie review podcast. So just a little background on the project. Back on my birthday in April, I decided I wanted to watch and review a horror movie every single day. I have done so for the past 364 days, although only the last 87 have been podcasts. Before that, it was text reviews. So I'm still feeling not so great mentally, health-wise, from the stuff that happened yesterday. I will be fine, but I figure it's probably better if I take care of watching my movie early, and maybe it'll give me a little bit more time to sleep. I could not sleep anymore today, so I'm doing this super early. You probably still won't get this until the evening, because I'll probably come home and edit it after work. But I literally could not sleep anymore, so I'm up. And so anyway, the movie that I watched today is The 10 Steps from 2004. I kept wanting to say 14. I haven't seen very many of these sort of older short films. I know that they exist. It's not a new phenomenon. But yeah, I haven't really seen too many from this early. It was from 2004. And this one was okay. I watched this one and listened to it with headphones, and I feel like that might have been a mistake in this particular case. I did like this one, especially the ending, because I didn't see it coming. I think if I'd been a little less distracted, I might have seen it coming, and other people probably would see it coming a mile away, but for me personally, I did not see it coming. Basically, the story is there's this family living in a house, and the power goes out in it while the parents are at a dinner trying to impress their boss for something, promotion or something like that. And the daughter and son are left home alone while the power goes out. The daughter being the elder. So, yeah, it wasn't bad. This is an Irish film. I haven't seen, actually I've seen a fair amount of Irish films, but I haven't reviewed a ton of Irish films, of any kind. This one, it's called The 10 Steps. It's 10 minutes. It's a little bloated, honestly, at that 10 minutes. I feel like a lot of it could have been cut down, or they could have done something different during different periods that maybe would have made the movie basically feel a little less padded. But it's not bad. They're trying to build atmosphere both through some of the shots that are happening, some of the things that are happening, and also with the soundtrack. And in headphones, the soundtrack sounds very overdramatic. It feels like the mood isn't quite earned by the time they start playing certain tracks, but that could just be because I was listening to it in headphones. If you were watching it just on a regular TV at like a reasonable volume, not a super high volume, then it likely you wouldn't have had any particular problem with that aspect. I can't say for sure, because right now I don't have the capability of watching it on another TV. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good. Other than the bloated and the little bit of over-dramaticism, the acting is all right. I don't feel as though I would particularly react to how everybody is reacting to things in this. Much of the camera work is good. There's some good shots and some good lighting. Some parts of the story are pretty interesting. Like I said, I did enjoy the ending of the movie quite a bit. But if you do see where this one is going, earlier rather than later, sooner rather than later, you may not have the same feeling as I did. I think that's really contingent on your enjoyment of this one. It does end well, but if you see it coming, then you may not enjoy it. That's really pretty much the only things that I can say about it. I would like to talk about specific story elements and so forth, perhaps, but there's not really too much to talk about. otherwise, and I don't like the spoiler thing, and it would really, in this particular case, being that, like, the end is what sort of wraps it all together and makes it feel like an actual thing, I feel like it just wouldn't, it wouldn't be serving anyone to give this away. This is not the sort of story that you really enjoy necessarily as much on other levels, so that's really pretty much all I can say about this one. Honestly, I'll take that. I mean, with the number of short films that I've seen recently where, like, they seem to try to be building towards something and then it just falls flat on its ass, I would have said face, but I feel like it's an ass day today. Yeah, with the number of things that I've seen that have fallen flat like that, I just, it's nice to see something that actually has a pretty decent ending. Again, that I personally didn't see coming, probably because I'm totally distracted. But if you don't see it coming, it is kind of like, huh, oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, I feel like that's a particular problem with a lot of short films, is like, at least a lot of the ones that I've been seeing recently, is that they're going towards, mood building and stuff like that. And that's a good use of your time as an independent filmmaker to work on, because establishing mood is very hard. This one does the same thing. It tries to build mood. In my particular opinion, it doesn't really do a super great job at that. You could easily pull out the headphones and it could have been better. But I felt like watching it on my laptop, I didn't really want to leave my space yet. So, I'm just watching it on my laptop, and my roommates are using my PlayStation 4 because the new, the new Dragon Ball Fighters characters were released. I think it's Broly and somebody, if you're a Dragon Ball fan. And so they took it upstairs, so I didn't have that to watch on. Otherwise, I would have watched it on regular TV, and then maybe I'd be able to see whether that mood building with that soundtrack would have been fine without the headphones. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of the short films, as I was saying before, seem like they're trying to build mood more than like make a story, which is a good thing to do if you're a director or a cinematographer and you're trying to practice that sort of thing, because it's not easy to really get everybody to buy in on something like that, especially if you're someone that doesn't just like every movie that you watch, basically. But as far as like from an audience standpoint, it's not necessarily the most interesting if all you have is mood building and not really anything else. That one particularly yesterday, yeah, I probably would have found nicer ways to say things about it, the review that I did yesterday, if I didn't feel like absolute garbage, but it still wasn't good, and it still did not have a story at all. I think that honestly did a bit better job of the mood building, but it had a lot more tools at its disposal, I think, and it had a lot of locations that kind of added to that. Again, the mood actually was not super strong in that, but the atmosphere was there for the film yesterday, and that was really all it had. This one, all it has is like a sort of interesting story and a good ending, but I haven't seen too many movies recently with good endings. So, watching a lot of short films, and these are not professional creators all the time. And even if they are, you can watch a Hollywood movie with a, $700 million budget and still end up with a movie that has no ending or has a really crappy ending. I think it's something that's easier when you have 7 brains to put to it, or, a team full of writers that can be like, well, I don't think audiences are going to respond to this ending, which is something you won't have in a short film capacity unless you get together a bunch of your friends. And how likely is it that your friends are going to tell you the ending of your movie sucks or doesn't exist in the case of yesterday's movie? So yeah, I don't know. It was nice and sort of refreshing for me personally to see something that has a pretty decent ending, at least from my particular perspective. I'd be really interested actually to see if somebody else was able to see this one coming. It seems like it wouldn't be hard to see it coming if you weren't as distracted as I was. So, but yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this for whatever reason. Definitely better. I enjoyed it better than I did yesterday's movie. Even though that one was much prettier. Like, easily much prettier. Better filmed, better locations, But anyway, I think that's about all I need to say about this one. So that's my review of The 10 Steps from 2004, and that's my episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with someone that you love. If the person that you'd like to share it with doesn't have the same platform as you, or if you don't like the platform that you found us on, we are available on YouTube, Player FM, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict, and pretty much any podcatcher out there. If you would like to reach out to us on social media, you can do so on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or you can email me at reclusehorror@gmail.com. So, yeah. I'm gonna go start getting ready for work, I guess. Oh boy. Yeah, I should get ready for work. For all those listening, I assume this is coming out tonight. So, have a good night.